Hello everybody, good morning. Welcome to Pine something or other in the mountains outside of Palm Springs by Idlewild. It's a beautiful day for a ride, and today I am taking part in the press launch for the new Moto Guzzi V7. The V7 is pretty much the core of the Guzzi line, available in several flavors. 2021 is the 100th anniversary of Moto Guzzi. They've been building motorcycles continuously in Italy the entire time. The V7, like I said, is really their core product. It's almost totally unique in the land of motorcycles in that it has a V-twin longitudinally mounted. So it has no chain, it has a shaft drive which goes to a little differential. The engine itself, air-cooled, 850cc, and they've redone the internals in some part to meet the Euro 5 standards, in some part for more power, efficiency, and thermal management. Like I said, it's air-cooled. It makes now 67 horsepower and 50 pound-feet of torque, and the bike weighs 480 pounds fully wet. It has ABS and traction control and your standard boilerplate technologies, but frankly, nothing too fancy. It's for all intents and purposes a fairly simple motorcycle. So let's go for a ride. Key. Typical V-twin sound, dual exhaust. The bike is totally warm, so we don't have to worry about that. And let's have a go. Like a lot of other V-twins, you have a nice flat torque curve, and with 67 horsepower and 50 pound-feet of torque, you can really get into the throttle without it worrying about the bike getting away from you. Like I said, it has traction control, and it's actually a multi-stage traction control that you access through the menus. Pretty easy. I've got it on right now because there's no reason for me to be getting into traction control on this street ride. There's two variants of this bike. The I think it's called Slate or the Stone and the Special. The Stone and the Special. I'm on the Special. Performance-wise, they are identical. The Special costs a little bit more because it has sort of a vintage styling with a spoke wheel and a little more chrome. The Stone one has a full digital gauge cluster. This has the more old school analog gauges with the digital readout in the middle. The first thing I noticed about when I got on this bike was that it has a very, very short learning curve. This would be a great, I don't want to say first motorcycle, because your first motorcycle should be kind of like a beater, but your second motorcycle, this would be great. It's got a lot of Italian style, real traditional look. It's a little different and offbeat, and it's got a really balanced power to weight to handling ratio. I didn't really ride a lot of the older Guzzis, but the other folks on this event seem fairly certain that this is a much better handling bike than the previous generation of Guzzi. There's really three distinct parts to the power band. There's the sort of lower half where it's very thumpy and even maybe a little boggy. The middle, between 3 and 5, that's where you're going to do most of your riding, and it's a very happy place for this motorcycle. And then once you get above 5 to about the 6,800 RPM red line, it gets pretty lively. It starts feeling like it wants to go quick. The brake pedals, brake pedal, excuse me, and brake lever have very good feel. And I really like how light the clutch is. The clutch pull is very light, which means if you're sitting in a lot of traffic, your hands won't get too tired. That's good. It does not have a quick shifter. So you gotta go old school on the upshifts and the downshifts. This bike doesn't give it to you. It's got naturally cool, good geometries, and it's got naturally attributes that make it easy to ride, but it doesn't back it up with a lot of tech. Pretty analog stuff here. The bike's not too wide, which means you could lane split in the city without any trouble at all. I really enjoy leaning it down in corners. I mean, it's easy to balance on the throttle, easy to place it in the lane. Overall, I think this is like a really, really forgiving motorcycle. That's the main takeaway I get from riding this Guzzi, is how forgiving it is. I mean, I got on it right away, felt comfortable. That's good. As my speed gets up a little bit, I'm still feeling pretty comfortable. And as I brake into this corner, I'm pretty confident in the brakes as well. You know, like I said, ABS and traction control. So I had to do full threshold braking, in fact, earlier today to avoid an accident. The ABS didn't come on, but I was able to make a nice controlled stop. Really just winding out third gear here, not a lot of shifting going on. And we're primarily going downhill. We started at about 6,000 feet, and we're working our way down the mountain towards Banning, which is back at about 1,000 feet, I think. If I had to really be honest, I think I'm a couple inches too tall and a couple pounds too heavy for this bike, especially in the legs. If my legs were 2 or 3 inches shorter, I might not have to stretch my knees as much as I do, you know, while riding. But if you're under 6 feet and under like 220, this bike will fit you real nice. If you're a big boy or a real big girl like me, maybe a slightly larger motorcycle. I just love the even torque band though. It's got a really nice rumble underneath the seat. And now here, you start running it past 6, it starts going. It starts making the power. But this bike has a nice pace. It's really a good balance in between all things. It's like a Boston Whaler, you know, or a Subaru WRX. It can do a bunch of stuff pretty well. I mean, obviously, we're not talking about super bikes here. But it's responsive. It's easy to ride. Oh, I just got a little warning light because I was getting awful close to banging the rev limiter there. If I had one complaint about it, I wish it had a proper fuel gauge. I hate the emergency light. You got a 5.5 gallon fuel tank with this. This is full throttle. You got a 5.5 gallon fuel tank, and the light comes on with 1 gallon left, so it's not like I'm really concerned with running out of fuel. But when you're talking about a $9,000 motorcycle, I don't know, it just seems like something I'd want. But I'm having a really nice time up here. This is very good. It's a lot of fun. Beautiful road, huh? Let me just look for an appropriate turnoff here. We can end this video. Oh, there's a beautiful little bridge and a lake. Oh, here we go. That's the spot. That's the spot. So, point being, I really like this bike. It starts at around $9,000, and it goes up to the high nines depending on what trim level you get, but mechanically they're all basically the same. I have to be honest, I think this bike is a beautifully flexible, stylish, and balanced machine that's not crazy fast, but it is a lot of fun, and I think if you balance the style, the performance, the value, and the history, you end up in a really good place. So shout out to Guzzi for having me out here to ride their new bike. I've really enjoyed it. Shout out to you guys for watching these motorcycle reviews and hopefully enjoying them. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.
And remember, always fight your tickets. Use code TST10 on the Off the Record app available in the Android and iOS store, or go to offtherecord.com/TST.